So from previous episode, we know that Hank got ambushed by the twins, and after few hours of surgery, Walter spent a lot of time in the hospital waiting for the surgery of Hank's. So he was way back on the schedule. So when he back to the lab, he and Jesse got to play catch up to meet the quotas of that week. So after hours of hard working, they finally made it. So when they were calculating the yields of the meth they produced that week, the number was slightly over the amount they needed. So Jesse wanted to save that up till next time, but Walter stopped him from doing that. And he told Jesse, don't complicate things, and we just ship it as is. So Jesse did not like that. He said that he had done some calculation that after 3 months of the contract, Gus was actually going to get $96 million. But based on the contract, they only got $3 million. So he thought that was unfair because they do all the hard workings, but they only got a small portion of the result. He did not like that. So on that on the night of that day, he went to the recovering meeting. It's in a rehab center. It's a regular meeting that he usually went to, and the host asked Jesse what he was doing lately. So he shared that he recently he got a job in a laundromat, but the hours and the managers were sucks. And he complained all of these things, but he didn't mention the details about the drug business. He just complaining about this. So the next day, he was called to the nail salon and by Saul, and Saul he recommend Jesse to buy that place because that's a pretty nice place to do the money laundry. And he couldn't wrap his mind around this. He did not know why he should do the money laundry and tax and pay taxes to the government. So Saul explained to Jesse that if he wanted to stay a criminal, not a convict, then he had to do the money laundry to turn his dirty money into the clean revenue by this establishment. But Jesse refused to take his proposal. He did not want to do that because he thought $1.5 million was way smaller than $96 million. Then he had to pay that tax again. He did not want to do that. So he started to think of going off on his own to do business on his own. So the next day, when they were calculating the yield of the meth they produced that day in the lab, he lied to Walter with the numbers on the scales. And he stole a small amount of meth from the lab so he could, sell them to other place on his own. And he also set up his friends to attend the recovery meeting. And because they were new faces, though, so the host asked them to share some of their stories to the people in the meeting. So they shared this fake story that how terrible and how addictive this blue meth was. It's a whole new version of the meth appear on the street. So they say this try to cause the attention of other people in the meeting. And then when it was Jesse's turn, he also shared a story that back to the day when he was still a high school student, he once took this voltaic class about wood making, about woodworking. So the homework was to make a wooden box. So in the first place, Jesse made this box as fast as he can. So uh, he made this as fast as he can, and then because he want to hand it over to his teacher as so get his grade so he could cut classes uh, of the rest. He could cut classes in the semester. He could cut the rest of the classes in that semester. So when he present that wooden box, the first version of the box to his teacher, he told people that he was motivated by his teacher because he said that, is this the best way you can do? So he was motivated by what he said. So in that semester, he made one and another boxes. And the final one, from what he said, was perfect. So he gave it to his mother, and the host encouraged him if he want to pick up that habit that he could go to the class in the university that because they also offer some adult extension program at the university. So Jesse, when the host talked about this, Jesse confessed to him that he was actually he actually did not give that box to his mother. He actually traded it to 1 pound of the wheat. So what's the point of this story? The point why he said that was because he wanted to get across the idea to the people in the meeting that once you addicted to the drug, it is very hard to eradicate it. So he want to raise their eager to buy more meth and get back to that bad habit again, so he could sell the meth on his own. So that was just the first part of this episode, and we will see how his business going in the following episodes. So on the other side, Hank woke up from the surgery and he couldn't walk. He was lying on the bed. A lot of people came to visit him, and one of them was Gomez. Gomez came to meet Hank and showed him some new information about the blue meth. And he told Hank that after he was attacked, the blue meth popped up again everywhere in the United States. He wanted to say this and share that information to him to cheer him up. So Hank actually wasn't cheered up by that. He told the family and Gomez in the war that the reason why he was still alive was because he got a warning call moments before the assassination. So once he said that, Walter, it struck it struck him that maybe he knew who was behind all of this. So he went straight to the chicken factory farm to meet Gus. And he told Gus that something troubled him and he wanted to clear the air and lay all the cards on the table. So he knew that Gus was the man behind all of this assassination. He was the man um, who made the warning call to Hank. So the reason why he did this was because He wanted to turn the silent assassination into a shootout so that could cause the attention from both sides of the government. So United States and Mexico, they would unite it together and carry out some operation against the cartel to weaken their power. So he could cut off the supply of methamphetamine to the south of the border, and he could have that market to his own, to himself. So the rewards would be enormous. And that was his strategy, and Walter respect that. But he also had this concern that he did not know what would happen after the 3 months contract ends. So Gus agreed with him that he would extend their contract as long as Walter was still alive. So Walter got the assurance, and at least for now, his safety and his mother's safety was secured. So uh, actually, it was yes, but for well, but for Marie, Hank's health condition was actually her first priority. But the doctor told her that even though after uh, months of months of physical therapy, it is possible that he would never fully recover. So, uh, but she still wanted to provide the best. She still wanted to provide the best therapy, the best program to Hank, but that was not within their coverage. So Skyler wanted to help, and she told Marie that they could always pay for their bills. And in the first place, Walter thought she was going to confess all of the drug business to her, but she was actually made up this story that Walter earned all of the money by gambling. So she also explained to Marie that all of this strange behavior of his was actually because of the gambling. So uh, Marie told him they got she needs some more time to she needs some time to think about this. And Walter was amazed how she came up of all these, you know, came up of all this story. And that was the end of the episode.